Welcome to Beauty Talk with me, Cindy Nell-Roberts, and Denise Zimba. Our expert in studio today is Caroline Lindes, who is telling us all about DNA testing. DNA testing is something we are used to for ancestry, and now it is also part of our skincare. Caroline, how does DNA testing fit into skincare?
So interesting. Genetic testing allows us to see your unique genetic profile, and it gives us a really good idea of the genetic predispositions that you have towards aging, pigmentation, inflammation, as well as the hormones that play a role in how certain processes in your skin will play out.
Very interesting. I am excited to find out what is the process when coming to test for
testing.
and how does it work and what's the process? Is it the typical thing you see in the movies where you just stick up an earbud and put it in there and clink, clink, clink,
Absolutely.
and like how
It
does it work?
sounds way too simple to be that, but it is actually very close to the truth.
Yeah.
It's a swab that is taken from the inside of your mouth. So cells from the inside of the mouth is then sent to a specific laboratory that then analyzes everything in detail. And it gives us an indication of specific markers that it identifies that plays a role in your skin health and how you age specifically.
And your DNA never changes, so it doesn't matter what age you do it at.
Correct. But obviously the sooner you do it, the more information you will have to make changes in your life that will enable you to play a positive role in how the outcome of those DNA markers will be.
And have you found any shocking results with some of your clients when a client comes in and goes, I've got this problem, I'm trying to figure out this, and it just can't get rid of this, or, my digestive system, and then you get results and you go, oh,
Yes.
do you want to know?
Absolutely.
Should I tell you this? Because we just discovered this and this and this.
Absolutely. But before I reveal all of that information to them, I'll always make sure that they know. And I think to the listeners as well, it's so important to know that it's not a diagnostic tool. It shouldn't be seen as a death sentence or a diagnosis of how you will definitely age, because it's actually the opposite. It's a very informative tool that you possess, that you can then use to support the body. That will then enable you to make certain changes, let's say in your diet, lifestyle, supplementation, as well as treatments, active ingredients that you use on the skin that can actually influence the outcome and the play out of your genetic predispositions. So you don't have to suffer from something just because you may be predisposed to it.
Cindy, have you had a DNA test
I don't
before?
have the DNA testing done.
Never have.
And it was very interesting. It did say I was predispositioned to high inflammation levels, which I know. And doctors have said to me before, and my medical problems have been all around inflammation. And I was also prescribed a set of vitamins, supplements to drink, which all of which I found very beneficial
Yes,
to
absolutely.
my health,
If you
well-being, beauty, regime. So I'm definitely a believer in it.
Yeah, it's very interesting because if you think back, Cindy, of treatments that we've done before, your skin was quite prone to inflammation post-treatment, even with milder treatments. So we always do LED red light therapy to help shut off that inflammatory response.
And if you know that, then you know how
beforehand,
and even to be able to give this information to somebody that's performing treatments on you, that they know this in advance.
That part of the treatment you would have to use or incorporate X, Y, and Z because you're more predisposed to react in that particular way.
And the DNA testing is reliable. It's always correct.
Absolutely. So there are various tests available. There are searches that you can do online to see which laboratories are more reputable. But usually if you do it through a medical practice or a reputable skincare clinic, you will be in safe hands.
So can you can you say, how do I ask this? Like, if you can see certain results, can it allow you to prevent certain things? Like, for example, I've got cancer in my bloodline. Like, my grandmother passed away from cancer, my aunt passed away from cancer. So are there certain things in your results from the testing where you can go, stay away from 1, 2, 3, 4, because you've got a high, I don't know,
predisposition towards a risk.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Again, it's not a diagnostic tool. It doesn't diagnose you with something. If you do it sooner than later, it will give you a really good idea of where the body needs that support. So let's say it is quite a scary thought that there is maybe an hereditary factor that plays a role. And now let's say you've got some genetic markers that give you a little bit more of a predisposition towards something. You can now start to implement various things. Let's say inflammatory triggers are extremely high due to cortisol, for example. You can then drink omega-3, 1,000 to 3,000 milligrams on a daily basis. That's just one of the many, many examples of things you can put in place to actually help strengthen the body and prevent the outcome of that.
Okay. And then...
And for example, rosacea, eczema, it would also give you markers for all of those.
Absolutely.
That is so interesting.
Very,
and as you
very
say, information is key.
Yeah.
If you knowledge is key. If you know what to expect, then you know how to prevent.
Absolutely.
And through some of your testings, like I'm sure you've tested a lot of different races. What has been like a particular common thread in certain races? Like, okay, for brown people, we notice that you guys have a lot of this. And if you have more Spanish blood, I don't know how you get what I mean, where it's like there's a common thread in certain races where it always, you see it pick up in some of your results with your clients.
Yes. Usually it doesn't necessarily play a massive role only on genetic predisposition, but rather due to the characteristics of the skin itself.
Okay.
So let's say, for example, a darker Fitzpatrick skin type is more prone to hyperpigmentation due to the fact that you've got more melanin cells per square millimeter. So a little bit of sun exposure or inflammation in the skin will definitely trigger more pigment production than a light Fitzpatrick skin type, purely because there isn't as many melanin cells. And the same with inflammation. If you have a lighter Fitzpatrick skin type, you may be more prone to sun damage because you have less protection due to the fact that you've got less melanin cells. So you'll age faster, UV-wise, than a darker Fitzpatrick skin type. But it doesn't necessarily have a direct link with your DNA.
That makes
very
sense.
Personal.
Sorry to cut you off, but that makes sense because my friends always used to laugh at me because, it's not a thing for brown people to be underneath the sun and then get sunburned and then peel. And I peel. And, it used to be like a joke amongst me and my friends with darkest tone to be like, why you peel?
I think I know why. You mentioned recently in one of the previous episodes that you were on Roaccutane before.
Yes.
And I think it has more to do with that, not necessarily, again, due to the fact that you've got a darker Fitzpatrick skin type, which is stranger to peel. But if you've been on medication like that before, your skin is definitely more photosensitive and more sensitive to the sun. There's less oil production in the skin because it literally shrinks the oil glands and the production of oil is less and less and less, which gives you less protection. So you will obviously peel with more inflammation or with sun exposure. So I think if you investigate, you normally find the root of it. But again, not necessarily DNA related, but rather environmental. And it shows you how DNA plays a role, but what you do plays almost a bigger role.
Yes, Denise, like going in the sun to peel is like 101 stupid.
And then forgetting to put the after sprays. I didn't know that.
And then not knowing about. Okay, but now we know, let's say hypothetically, we've gone for our DNA testing, we're staying out of the sun, but we know we're going to age. We're going to age. And then sagging obviously occur. There's some areas that all of us, sag in first, regardless of our DNA. The eyelids,
This.
we start aging on our hands, the jowls.
Yes.
So let's start with the eyelids. What treatments are available for us to, for example, tighten up the eyelids, the top of the hands,
Yes.
Wrinkly skin? So what do we do?
Yes, absolutely. So up until recently, we didn't have many options for treating the eye area. It's too sensitive to treat with any options. For example, your deeper chemical peels, even lasering. It's very limited to what you could actually do. And because the top of the eyelids have very little to no oil glands or oil production, it tends to age faster. So thank goodness for technology. We now have a specific treatment called plasma fibroblast treatments, of which Plexa is quite a renowned and reputable form of it. And what we do with Plexa, and this is why it's also gained the nickname of soft surgery, is that it has the ability to very effectively tighten connective tissue. It also sublimates or eliminates excess dead skin cells or excess cells of the skin that allows that contraction to happen. So
just to break that down in English for the
Yes, I was
for the
just about to
listener,
start.
it looks like a pen that burns your skin with little dots.
Okay.
And
Prickly
those tiny little dots,
Okay.
they burn and they cause little scabs on the skin. And those little scabs contract your skin.
Yes.
And I'm just giving the layman's term
Yes,
version
yes,
of this.
yes,
And that
of course.
contracts the skin, then tightens it up. This way you don't have to have plastic surgery, for example. And once those scabs fall off, because you know what happens happens under the scab, it heals, tightens up. And then Caroline will explain, the beautiful technical, medical terminology around it. But that's essentially what happens. And then the skin contracts and it's tighter in that area.
And you use it anywhere and everywhere in your body.
You can pretty much.
I need a lot of tightening.
You can use it on your tummy.
It can definitely be used in various areas. So any areas that has a lack of elasticity will benefit from this. So we very often, areas that are difficult to treat with other treatments, for example, those little folds next to the ear when you start to see some drooping, even ear lobes itself, the neck area, the jowl area.
I got this problem over here. This little thing going on.
Under the chin area,
Hands, body, everywhere.
So hands especially as well. Just remember, hands is always exposed to the sun. When you drive and you wash your hands, I always wash my hands like permanently. So, and I don't always reapply, or I catch myself driving and I forgot to reapply sunscreen. So it's important I do a Plexa and a laser treatment once a year because of that fact. And it really helps to rejuvenate the hands. It is a treatment that is deep and seen as soft surgery, so you do have to be a little bit more cautious if you've got a slightly darker Fitzpatrick skin type.
Okay.
Because of the inflammation that could potentially lead to post-inflammatory hyperpigment. So again, make sure that you do these treatments at a very reputable clinic or a medical practice, because for about 2 to 4 weeks before your treatment, they will then give you a tyrosinase inhibitor, which is a cream, to just help control and calm down pigment production, so that when you do the treatment, there's no risk of pigmentation forming afterwards. But the
And then
results are
obviously
incredible.
Don't go into the sun afterwards for quite a while. So wear gloves, Denise. I'm going to lock you up, girl.
Yes,
After your treatment. Caroline, thank you very much. We always leave you a little smarter and certainly have learned a lot today.
Absolutely.
It was very informative.
Thank you.
Denise and I are coming.
Yeah.
And then I'm locking her in.
Yeah, because I've got plumber hands. I need you to kind of like help me.
You've got beautiful hands. What do you
It needs to be a little bit more feminine. It looks like I deal with a whole lot of pipes and I'm like a mechanic,
We've got all the tools to deal with that. No problem.
Okay, good to know.
Thank you for joining us on Beauty Talk. We'll see you next time.